Test. Test 1, 2. All right.
To go. So that's not going.
Got it on?
Yep.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 a.m. It's Tuesday, March 12th. It's time for our weekly Cudahy County Board of Commissioner weekly meeting. We'll open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and
It's your birthday, you should lead.
oh, okay, I'll lead it myself. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Myron.
Happy birthday, Mr.
And it is my birthday today, by the way. Like I told Cindy, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken a lot better care of myself, but here we are. That being said, housekeeping chores, this meeting is being streamed live, so if you wish to address the board, you will be streamed on the stream. Just a heads up, that's all that is about. If you have a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. If you do get a call that you need to take, please step out into the rotunda so you don't disrupt the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience that has any concerns or wishes that they would bring to the board that are not on the agenda? We would like to reserve some time during the open towards the end of the meeting if they wish to address the board at that time. We wouldn't be able to act on any thing at that time. It would have to be on the agenda, but just an opportunity to address the board. Seeing none, is there any board members that have any conflict of interest to any items that are on the agenda for today? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. I have a motion by
Second.
Hatton, a second by Van Duzen. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Any more discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
How about the minutes of the March 5th meeting? We have a motion by Hatton to approve. Is there a second by Gable? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 5 on the agenda is a request from the Watertown Boys and Girls Club in concern with the event, the camel race that a lot of us that are familiar with. It's an event that's held at the Extension Complex, and they're requesting to sell liquor at that event. So those representing the Boys and Girls Club, could you please come forward and introduce yourself so the press will know who you are? And remember, you're being streamed live, and your hair is all beautiful, so you're fine. Go ahead with your request.
Yes, good morning. I'm Liz Christensen, and this is Kelly Jaderborg, representing the Boys and Girls Club of Watertown. First of all, thank you to the County Commission for being a long-standing partner of the Boys and Girls Club and all that we do to bring services to about 2,500 youth each year. So April is just around the corner, and it's time for our 5th annual Blue Door Derby. This is an annual fundraiser that we host at the Extension Complex, gathering about 350 individuals who purchase a ticket or purchase a camel sponsorship, kind of like a life-size board game, an evening of fun and fellowship, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. We're requesting to sell beer and liquor at this event. We've had a transfer of a liquor license from the Friends of the Goss organization for that evening, and just asking your permission to, again, serve the beer and liquor at the event.
Make a motion to...
It's your turn.
Yeah, this is our...
We're not going to let you out. You're going to have to say something. You're here. You're on camera now.
What's the date?
Sure, yeah. The date is April 5th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. And this is our 4th year having it at the Extension Complex, and it's a great facility to host it at with our kind of camel race lanes that we have. We need a lot of space to run the event, and so this is really the perfect venue for it.
How do you handle security?
Yeah.
As far as monitoring drinking age and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we actually we've partnered in the past with Dempsey's, and they've volunteered some of their bartenders to help us serve that night. So, they're very familiar with kind of the service and how that works. So, it's their responsibility to check.
Part of our insurance policy that we have, Myron, is requiring those servers to be certified in, I guess, monitoring and whatnot. And I can't remember what the name of the program is. It's not ServSafe, but yeah. And that's one of the things we had to answer is those bartenders have been certified in that kind of, I guess, way to serve that night.
I appreciate that. I just want the general public to know and understand what goes on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a full line of communication here.
Yep, it's
All right.
it's a safe event. We haven't had any problems in the past with anyone overindulging and driving. I do think everyone takes responsibility for themselves and having a fun, safe evening.
It's also been a good money raiser too.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's grown every year. So each year that we do it, we up the funds raised, and it's a good challenge. And these are just operating dollars. So this kind of goes to our bottom line and helping us just run our normal day-to-day operations at the club. So it's a pretty important one to continue doing every year.
And I think Charlie will volunteer to ride one of the camels.
I'll make a motion to approve the request from the Boys and
We have
Girls.
a motion to approve.
I'll
Is there a
second that.
second?
Second.
Second by Van Duzen. Is there any more discussion?
I think the commissioners should have a camel this year.
Yeah, there's spots available.
All right, we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll
I would
place or not.
suggest the
but-
person that suggested that be responsible for the camel too.
What's that? Do they eat a lot?
Do they eat a lot?
They're the best kind of camel to have.
Keep it out at the extension building.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any more discussion?
I've been to this event several years, and I just want to say that the Boys and Girls Club does a fantastic job of running it and making sure that all the patrons are of age. We've never had an issue out there, and I don't anticipate that we're going to. They do a very good job, so thanks for that.
Thank you for that comment. Appreciate it. Any more discussion? Any more? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And what was the date again? Just remind me.
Yep, April 5th at 5:30 p.m.
April what?
April 5th, Friday.
April 5th.
Yep.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, and happy birthday.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We didn't know it was his birthday today. Kept it quiet.
By the way, it's also the National Girl Scouts birthday too. This I grew up living with that. They always said they do a good job as well. All right, let's go into monthly reports. Jody, you're here. Jody with Extension. Good morning, Jody.
Good morning.
And I think while you're here, we're going to take number 7, and in case there's some questions or comments, which is the approval of the expansion. Yeah.
Okay. Well, recently I attended a Progressive Egg Safety Day training. I kind of came upon this while I was having my farm safety camp last year, because all of the materials that were with Farm Safety for Just Kids out of Iowa have recently been included on the Progressive Egg Safety, because that group in Iowa has closed now. So, so Progressive Egg Safety Day has never been, they're on their 25th year, but they've never been in South Dakota. They've been all across the state. They've been in Canada and other countries, but never been in South Dakota. So we recently held our first training there in Huron just last Friday. So we can sign up now by March 15th. I have to decide when we'll have a farm safety day. And I'm looking at a farm safety day for younger kids, for 5, 6, and 7-year-olds versus the 8 to 12-year-olds I did last year. Because in the past I've done every other year just to get some attendance there. And there's always those young kids that need it too, not just the 8 to 12-year-olds, so the 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. So look to host that soon.
Would it be all right if Troy would come so he could drive a Bobcat?
I just
He
want to
said he
drive a
really would like to
Bobcat.
drive a skid steer
I want to
sometime.
move some snow.
Come to my house. You can come move some snow with our Bobcat.
After last year, we want qualified people driving equipment.
Well, he did. I think it just went a little too
What
far
do
with the
you mean by that comment?
setup or the.
Well, if you've never done it.
I have.
All right. We also have all the 4-H'ers in the nation is set up for is youth quality care of animals. And this is YQCA, and instead of, they used to be PQA, Poor Quality Assurance, and the kids that showed swine had to be certified in that, and now it is all-inclusive for YQCA, Youth for the Quality Care of Animals, so all kids who are showing animals will learn this. And so I've scheduled 3 trainings so far for Cottington County. Our first one's tonight, and that's in Florence. And then right after school, so I can catch the kids right after school. They don't have to make a trip to town. So we're going to catch some kids in Florence there today. And then Waverly South Shore, I'll be there on March 27th. They have an early out, so I'm going to go there at 1 o'clock and have a training there. And then one in Watertown on May 6th in the evening. But if we do need to do another one to catch all the 4-H youth that are showing livestock, that I will hold another one also.
Weather permitting.
Yeah, I know everything is weather permitting this year. Yesterday I held my clover buds yesterday in Florence that was our 3rd try. So every Monday had been called off until yesterday. So, and then our shooting sports, the BB guns are youth are still shooting, and they can start registering for our state shoot on Saturday, March 16th, and our state shoot is April 26th through the 28th in Fort Pierre. We have quite a few kids qualified in both BB gun and some in archery too. So I don't know the totals yet, but
Okay, good. Do you have any questions for Jody? Any questions? Okay, let's go on then to number 7 on the agenda, and that is action to approve the 2019 4-H Promotion and Expansion Committee roster. Jody, you put this together for us. You want to review it for us?
I just rotated the ones up, so We did add Rob Whipple and Gavin Whipple to that, and then Miranda Breitag also on to the non-4-H adults. So that's the ones that have been added.
Make a motion to approve that.
We have a motion by Van Dusen, a second by Waterman. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, they're in. Thank you,
All
Jody.
right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jody.
Stay warm and stay dry. All right, let's go on to the auditor's report. Cindy.
We have finished up with the annual report and published that in the public opinion, which we're required to do by law. Sent the reports to the Department of Legislative Audit. If any of you want to look at those reports, just let me know. I can run you a copy. This is the year that normally we would receive our audit from the Department of Legislative Audits, but I've heard that due to some retirements, they are very far behind, so I'm not sure how that's going to work this year. 2 years ago, I think they came in August or September. Looks like that could be even later this year. Hopefully, I like being audited in the odd-numbered years because I don't have an election, and the auditors can work out of my back office with plenty of room to spread out because we don't have election equipment set up and in the way. But I guess we'll just see how that works. Following legislative bills, since I last reported, the bill to shorten the window for absentee voting was killed in the Senate committee. I believe there were a large number of county auditors that testified, and the new Secretary of State also stepped up and gave us his support, so that bill was killed. There will be no change to the time for absentee voting. And then I have been notified, April is the month for normal city elections, unless your city is going to combine with a school to hold an election, and then it's usually the third Tuesday in June. But I have been notified that I have one municipality that is having an election on April 12th. Nope, not April 12th. It must be April 9th. And that is the town of Henry will be having an election. So we'll be watching for the deadline to register voters, the 15-day cutoff for those, and we'll have the office open during the hours of the polling place so that if they have any questions, they can call us, and that's about it.
All right, any questions for Cindy? All right, thank you, Cindy. Let's go on then to the Director of Equalization, Shauna. Good morning, Shauna.
Morning, Shauna. These are just the appeal dates, so you guys can have them written down. It is the time of year. I guess you don't get one.
There you go.
Thank you. We are currently working on fielding phone calls and appeals that are coming in, appeals coming in the mail. Trying to get everything else caught back up that we got behind on while we were trying to get the assessment notices out. And any sale that comes in as of November 1st has to have the 2019 values on them, so we have to get them updated in the computer. So that's basically what the whole office is working on right now, is working with the taxpayers. We will be, the appraisers and I are going to split up. We did reappraisal in Sheridan and Compesca this year, and then we will actually be at their local board meetings with all of our cards and available for everybody there so that we can talk to them and help the boards through everything. And Sheridan's a new board this year, so we would have went and visited with them anyway. But dates for you guys to know and remember: April 9th, the county and consolidated boards start. April 9th at 1 p.m. we will be here in the commission chambers for all the county property, and then we will be over at City Hall that evening starting at 6:30 for all of the Watertown properties. And if need be, we will continue the next Tuesday, April 16th, and so on and so forth until everything is completed. The last few years we've only done one day, but it's just going to be different from year to year.
Okay, any questions for Shauna?
Those times again? please?
April 9th, 1 PM for county, and then 6:30 PM for consolidated.
And that'll be in the city hall.
City Hall, yep.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions? All right, thank you, Shauna. All right, let's go on then to number 8. This is the action to approve the auditor's account with the treasurer. I note monthly register of deeds fees, and there's a paper in your packet to follow along.
This is just a report of the cash and cash items on hand in the treasurer's office as of the last day of February. Shows you where our general ledger cash balances are, where our checking account balance is, the money that we hold for working with Memorial Park with the reservations and everything is also kept separate. And then the Register of Deeds fees for the month of February were $22,877.50.
Move to approve the
Motion
auditor's
by
account
Hatton
with
to
the
approve, a second
A second.
by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any questions for Cindy? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, let's go on to number 9 is the approval of the Delta Dental Insurance premiums for the county employee and to approve the splits that we have. Cindy, you want to fill us in on that? And the packet, in your packet is a breakdown of that as well.
So we've received our renewal rates from Delta Dental. The increase is 5%. Their analysis suggested that a 15.4 rate increase was in line. However, based on their rate stability program, they've limited our increase to just 5%. So a single premium will increase by $2.02, two-party by $3.64, and family of 3 or more, $5.30. And currently, the county pays the full single premium, half of the two-party, and half of the 3 or more.
Move to approve that rate increase.
And the split?
And the split.
We have a motion to approve the proposal and the split. Is there a second? I'll accept a second with a smile. Well, Delta Dental, I'll have a smile. Thank you, Charlie. Any more discussion? Anything else? Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, let's go on then to number 10. That's approval of a pole building, and we opened bids on that a week ago and give Rick a time to review them. Rick, I'm going to deviate from what's on the agenda right now, just ask you a question, we'll make a comment here. It's been a rough couple weeks for the highway department. I just want to thank all the work that you and your crew have been doing, and it's tough out there. She's tough, and we were talking earlier before the meeting about some of the roads that are just almost impassable to get through. And one of the things that is occurring out there that I just happened to notice this morning, and I thought about it, and I don't know how important it is. I think it's kind of important, but the drivers of those plows, please be courteous to them and get the heck out of the way. You know, when they're coming down the road, pull over, stop and let them do their job. In the process of doing their job, and they're doing a good job, they are, you know, out my way, we got banks, you know, as high as 5-6 feet high, and they're covering up mailboxes, and they're covering up the green identification signs. You know, the fire signs is what I call them. I don't know what the correct term is. What is it, Troy? Do you have a... I suppose...
Rural addressing signs?
Yeah.
Rural routes?
The rural addressing signs, I suppose, but if yours is covered up and you live out there, it's kind of like fire hydrants. Maybe you should dig it out and make it so that if there is an emergency and someone needs to get to your place, they'll know where to go. I always say, well, if there's a fire, they'll go where the smoke is, but if it's an ambulance call, it's a little bit different deal. So just a thought. It's not your fault, but I would like to see your board where you got the mailbox check off. How many mailboxes you got today, you know? All right, Rick, let's look at pole buildings.
Well, thank you for that.
Yep.
I propose that Sharp Electric take the electrical work.
Okay,
Let's have a motion on each one of these sections of the
Make a motion.
and what was the amount of that? What was the amount of that?
That was $9,906.01.
I'll make a motion to approve Sharp Electric for the electrical portion.
We have a motion by Hatton.
Second.
Second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, Sharp Electric has the bid. All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
The pole barn was Zach with construction with a Reeves building going up. And that was $140,051.78 with a 10 by 10 door to be put into that. That was $3,995.28. So a total of $144,047.06.
Make,
A motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion?
We were talking about this morning, Rick. Did you want to put in the minutes or the public play, in the forum that is for the 5/8 fire
Yep.
code sheetrock?
Yep, and I had talked to Shane Spooner with Reeves Buildings, and they did spec sheetrock on both sides of the wall, 2 layers on the sign shop part that's built inside the building. So that was in their bid. It just wasn't on the sheet that they'd given me, so.
All right. So you had a chance to review all of them and you're satisfied with the bids?
Yes.
So that basically is a firewall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any more discussion? We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right?
Creststone Builders are going to do the concrete work. Their bid was $37,700.
Make a motion to accept that bid.
Motion by Van Duzen, a
Second.
second by Waterman. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You have a total number for the whole project then?
$191,653.79.
And that was within your budgeted amount?
Yes, yes.
I think
It was
you had
under-
budgeted 200.
That was under our budgeted amount.
Yeah. Okay, good. Very good. Any more questions for Rick?
You have room for change orders then?
Yep, there'll be a little bit, hopefully.
Any other questions, comments for Rick? All right, thank you for all the work you guys are doing, and they'll be able to get this done this spring, or?
Yes, because there was a deadline of June 14th. It has to be completed by. So whenever they can get in there
We
to,
hope the snow will be gone by that, all right?
we'll scoop it off there if we have to.
All right, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Yep.
All right, number 11 on the agenda is a request, action to authorize Commissioner Hatton to attend the 2019 NACO Annual Conference. And when is this conference? And do you have any costs involved, or what this is going to?
Well, right now, early registration is going on, and it's, hard to tell. I looked at some of the airlines. It depends on which one you're taking. I looked at one that 400 probably would be the max. And the registration is $490, and that is also the opportunity to hopefully get into the convention hotel as well, is why you want to early register for this. So
And when is it?
it is it would be July 11th through July 15th.
Is this the same one that Sarah goes to?
She has gone.
She
to-
has, I don't
sometimes,
know.
yeah.
if
She's not going this
She
year?
might go to the legislative one. I think.
I haven't heard from her yet, so.
think she sometimes goes to.
She just
She was
got back
just
from the
there.
legislative
Yep,
one.
she
Yeah,
was just
okay,
there.
so, yeah, so, I would make a motion to.
All right, a motion by Gable. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Van Duzen. Any discussion?
This
Any
is-
discussion?
Just, that this is a budgeted thing,
Yes,
so.
it is a budgeted item, it is in the budget, so yes.
Any more discussion? Any other questions? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Let's go on to number 12. Note March 20th meeting of the Sioux Valley Commission Association, and that would be next
A
Wednesday.
week from tomorrow in Bryant, and I do have Commissioners Gable, Hanton, Johnson, and Waterman attending.
Okay,
It's just our quarterly meeting.
quarterly meeting. Also at that quarterly meeting, it's our turn. We rotate through the membership of providing a vice president that will be the chairman next year. So be thinking about that. I chaired that group, must be 7 years ago or something like last time we were through. So just keep in mind, if you are interested in doing that, be sure and bring it to our attention. Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, let's go then to number 13, and this is action on change orders submitted for the courthouse remodel. Lee, what we got this week?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to preface what I'm going to do, last week we approved a change order in the amount of $3,960.40. That was PR 21. So what I need to do is, just to let you know, I'm going to do two motions. One is to rescind that one because it only covered the wall itself, and then replace it, then make a motion to approve PR 21R, which is the one in front of you, which includes the cost of the one, the wall itself, but this one includes installation. You'll recall it had some other stuff in there, so the only thing I could pick out was the wall itself. So that's what we approved. But we need to rescind that one and then approve this other one, which includes installation as well as modifying the doors so that you have a separate exit and entrance door at the front. And the total cost of that is going to be $5,345. So my first motion is to rescind PR 21.
Okay, let's just take that one.
Yeah, right.
All right.
So the first motion.
First motion is to
Second
rescind
that.
it.
Let me just say this, word this right, so for the auditor's sake. So the motion to rescind the portion of PR 21 that we approved on March 5th in the amount of $3,960.40.
All right, second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Cindy, you
I got it.
got it? Okay, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion is approved. Okay, Lee, go on with
And then
replacement.
Then the other one is, so the motion is to approve PR 21R, which in the amount of $5,345. And you can see, but you have the table in front of you, but put it on the screen too to see how that affects your thing. Of course, it just faded out. But
So in what portion this is going to be down in the,
this is what's going to be in the vestibule. So it's the same thing we did last year. It's just I couldn't pull out, the installation cost and the cost of modifying the door from it. So, but there was a part of it that adds to the top of those walls that we're still working on to see if we can get a better cost on that part of it. So that's the part that I
That's
wanted to
not
take out.
included.
That's not in this one, and that's why I only was able to see, because I knew that looked a little high. So we want to make sure that before we spend that money, we need to. So anyway. So that leaves us with still, this is just looking at change orders, and still gets a net gain of over $6,000. So, and that's because of some previous change orders that saved us some money. So,
But the
anyway.
PR 21, everyone is looking at the chart up there, is actually 53.45.
45, yeah.
That's what this motion is that you're
Right,
making
exactly.
right now.
So I took off the PR 21. That one's blank because we just rescinded that one. So
All right, so
just to be
that's
clear on
the
that.
motion.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, is there a second to that motion?
second that?
Brenda, second by Hatton. Any discussion? Any discussion? You have it, Cindy?
Yep.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on then to claims. Action for approve any claims that we have. We have any today?
We have a lot of claims today. Let's see, on page 1, in the commissioner's budget, $1,156.39. That is the cost for making the copies to send out in those assessment notices. I think there's got to be a cheaper way to do that next year. I think I would look at sending them to a printer, because it does, I mean, yeah, I get charged for every color copy.
Oh, that's the service fee. Okay.
Yep, that's the charge for every color copy, and we had between, I think, over 12,000 copies that we had to put in those assessment
Are those
notices.
kind of standard from year to year?
We started doing this about 3 or 4 years ago, and for some reason this year, we had more questions on that right-of-way wording, people wondering if they had done something wrong, and no, we just included that in everybody's notice. So we had a gentleman call in and told me that he's planting his garden in the right-of-way. He doesn't understand what that's hurting. I said, well, there's a statute, and it's not on a county road, it's not on a state road, I believe it's a township road, but I believe it still applies that you are not to dig or plant in the right-of-way. I guess it's up to him to decide, or his township to decide if he's in violation of anything, but more people noticed that notice this year than ever before. We had a lot of questions. So.
Go ahead, Brenda.
Basically, it's the same notice that we've used.
It's the same notice, we just used some highlighting this year, and
Basically, this, we've been doing this for a few years now, and it's nice to see that the awareness is starting to seep through the
they're looking at it.
guarded crust.
One other thing, if we need to, it's kind of like I thought of it after it was too late, but one of the things that I've got a couple of calls from my neighbors up there that they're encouraging people to check their culverts and clean their culverts out. And we may find out today or tomorrow or the next day about clean culverts, but
True.
I'm one of those guilty ones. My culvert in my driveway is plugged. I mean, it's been, over the years, the dirt is filled in over it, and its grass is going over it. So clean out your culverts, and that might be something we'd want to add to it eventually. That you're responsible to keep your culverts cleaned out.
What Florence or what the Fuller Township is doing to a limited scale is the Florence Fire Department is when they have a meeting is going out and taking out the fire truck and flushing some of these culverts.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Is there any statute that says that? Because if there isn't a statute, it's just more or less just kind of a reminder.
I don't know if there is or not, but there probably is. I mean, it's kind of important to keep the water flowing, keep the culverts cleared out.
And
I know in the township level, we used to really stress, in fact, we'd go around to all the culverts in our township with a backhoe and make certain that the culverts were cleaned out. It was just for our own good. I mean, if the culvert's open, the water will go through the culvert, not over the road. And that would always help, so just a thought.
Anyway, I think we can do this cheaper with a commercial printer last year. In fact, Office Peeps called me to verify that I had indeed made that many color copies, and I said, yes, we did. We had a big job this year, or this month.
Are you sure?
Okay, on page 4 in the Director of Equalization budget, I highlighted an item of $5,827.10, and that was to Bourne's Group, our mailing service. That's what it costs to mail out those assessment notices every year.
I wonder how
which
much that
are
adds.
required.
Yeah, like us putting that extra flyer in, if that adds.
I don't think it adds anything to it. I think we're still in a standard letter
Okay.
size with that in there. Yep. On page 8, towards the bottom, we have a $20,020 to the SDSU Extension Service, and that is for our agreement for funding the 4-H advisor position. That goes towards paying a portion of her salary and benefits. There's not a lot out of the ordinary this month. I think those are the only things I highlighted. So we had $770,185.12 in claims to pay. Of that amount, $396,982.11 is passed through to the state of South Dakota, with the remainder being county claims.
Move to approve those
Motion by Hatton to approve, second by Gable. The only discussion, I would make a comment on Jody's reimbursement to SGSU. I do communicate with SGSU, and I do her evaluation as well. And I always have to have that completed and mailed and sent to them prior to them offering her a new contract. So that is all part of that system. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
The reason I brought up about that postage is if it was added to the cost of what Sarah would, or Shauna would have to mail, then I guess we wouldn't really want to impose that on her budget, you know, the commissioners are.
Oh, right. But I still think, I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure we're still just a standard letter size, and we do get a bulk mailing rate from the service, so, yeah.
That's
Okay.
the only
Cindy, I have one question.
Yep.
On page 11, in other emergency services, I believe it's emergency services.
Okay.
There's 163 Mark Strophus tailgate. What was that for? I don't. Do you
Say that
recall?
again?
Mark Strophus tailgate? Did we have to fix a tailgate or replace a tailgate? or
Well,
something?
that would be search and rescue. So I'm assuming it was a repair or something that they had to one of their vehicles. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if that was one of our county vehicles.
No, it's other emergency services is search and rescue.
All right. Any other comments? Any other questions for Cindy? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go on to number 15, action to approve automatic budget supplement.
We have one supplement this month. It's in the amount of $3,500. We received a check from the Watertown Area Chamber of Commerce towards the staging equipment that or staging setup that we purchased for the ag building. So we can put this $3,500 back into the ag building budget, because at the time I estimated revenue, this was not in the works. Therefore, we're allowed to make an automatic supplement to that budget.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Gable,
Second?
second by Van Duzen. Discussion. The only other discussion I would have is, and I meant to do this when Rick was here, and of course I forgot to ask him, how are we doing on the highway budget? You know, we talked about supplementing some of these budgets. I meant to ask him, that's the question that I'm getting almost daily out in the public. You know, how you guys doing on your budget, you know?
Our snow removal budget?
Yeah.
I think Rick said he was at a couple $100,000 this year.
Well, I tell you what, it costs a lot to run those plows out there, and that's,
Well, I can comment a little bit on that. The diesel fuel budget for the snow removal this year, we have spent 8,000 gallons.
8,000, yeah.
And we probably will go through between 10 and 13.
I talked to one of my neighbors last night, and he said, people don't, I mean, you just do it, you don't think about it, but he said, you know, he lives on an acreage, he doesn't do any custom blowing, he has a tractor with a blower, and so far he's used 150 gallons of diesel fuel just blowing his yard out. So you take 150 gallons times $3, you know, $3 a gallon or whatever, you know, and, you know, it's costly. That snow removal, it adds up. But that's a common question that I'm getting is, how are you guys doing on the budget? You know, and, you know, these townships are hurting now too. It's getting to all of us.
And
On
there,
that-
a little side note to that, on the snow removal deal, we were talking to Jim and asked him what type of a sign he wanted to put up for these roads that are closed and reported to 911.
Yeah.
And he said, that is completely up to the townships, whatever they wish to put up. Because if the county puts a stipulation that it's a certain size, then it construes that the county has part ownership in the township roads.
Responsibility.
It was just something that was brought up because there are several roads that are closed, you know, that they're not maintaining because there's no one living. So it does make a difference for emergency services when they're out on a call to reroute them. And yes, the county, and I've received several calls, has no jurisdiction over the township roads, but it was just kind of something that needed to be addressed if they're not maintaining them during the winter, that emergency services knows so that they can get there the quickest way and don't have to.
It's not a big deal unless you're having a heart attack and you need an ambulance. Then it
Report
becomes
it
a
in
big deal.
when you close it, and report it when it's open.
Right,
Yeah.
to the 911 center, the police department.
We all got to work together in this thing. It's just a mess. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Got a little bit off track here, but important things to talk about. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on then to number 16, personnel changes. We do have a couple of those in your packet.
Two of those, Lindy Waba is the second deputy in the treasurer's office. She's due her anniversary step increase to step 13, $20.72 per hour. Kyle Lewis is a correctional officer in the detention center. He's due his 6-month step increase to step 2, $18.47 per hour.
Move to approve the
Motion by Hatton,
personnel changes.
Second.
second by, who was that, Gable? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Travel requests, we have a couple of travel requests.
The Emergency Management Office is requesting authorization for the Secretary and Director to attend a Region 2 Summer Severe Weather Meeting in Aberdeen. Director of Equalization is requesting authorization for her and her appraisal staff to attend the annual SDAAO conference in Deadwood. And I am requesting authorization to attend the 2019 NACO annual conference. I've got estimated costs on there. Some of those could come down. I also have a $1,000 scholarship from the South Dakota Association of County Officials to offset the costs of my travel.
Make a motion to approve those, and Cindy will be receiving an award, correct? That's why,
No, grant.
Okay.
Just a grant.
Okay.
Yep, a scholarship is what I'm receiving to attend.
Congratulations, anyway.
Oh, yeah. I was the only one who applied.
You know, you wouldn't have had to tell us.
I know, but I just, it's,
Congratulations.
it's an
to you.
opportunity that the association offers, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's silly not to use it and get some experience.
Congratulations for the honor, and congratulations for your honesty.
All right.
We've got a motion and a second. Did we have
Nope,
a
just
second?
a motion.
I'll make a second.
Second by Gable. Any more discussion? And that will also be in June?
In July.
July, yep.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go on then to old business. Do we have any mature business that we need to work on today?
We talked about this.
I guess I would just, I don't know if we've talked about this, having an open house for the courthouse, a ribbon cutting of the newly remodeled secondary courtroom and the clerk of courts. There was an email that was sent out to all of you.
I think Lee has a date on that already, don't
Yeah,
you?
March
Yeah, well,
21st
yeah.
from 4 to 7.
What was it?
March 21st from 4 till 7 o'clock. The question I have is, do we want to have any sort of refreshments for that event, like coffee and water or cookies, or just, throwing it out there, asking you guys, because it would have to come out of our commissioners' budget.
Well, I guess it'd be nice, but who's going to clean it up? Clean up the mess and make it, the preparations and so on and so forth. And How many people are we gonna have? It's really a tough decision.
Hard to know.
People sound interested. I mean, I've had some people mention it to me. so.
I'm doing this in conjunction with the chamber, that's why we're also having a ribbon cutting, so they're putting the notice out to all their chamber members as
So I
well.
think we'll see
This is
some,
going on.
I think it'd be nice to do some.
I mean, we could just do cookies and punch. There's not a lot of cleanup there.
Yeah.
I mean, get a box of cookies from somewhere and
Maybe we
lay
can
them
all
out on a
bake some.
tray or something.
I'll
Have a
bake some and
have a bake sale
donate
for the
Anyway, I just threw it out, just, kind of a gesture, but I don't know what it would cost.
Where would we serve? We wanna keep the mess out of the courtroom.
Downstairs, in the,
Well,
Keep 'em in the entryway.
Probably in the
Yeah.
Put them in the
entryway.
There should
entryway.
be plenty of room there.
right in the rotunda
In the
area.
rotunda area, I think.
Where
would be
the
the
hard
one there.
floor is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't want juice.
Might
Just
wanna-
well, we get white juice.
And then check out that security system so they can't go in with coffee and cookies into the courtroom, all right?
So that's we can't make a motion on it, just a consensus, you're thinking,
Yeah.
go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
We'll maybe-
Everybody all right with that?
Absolutely.
All right, okay, good. Thank you, Brenda. Any
Mis-
other old business? Yes.
Mr. Chair, could I back up to just the training, travel request? Did we cover the Director of Equalization?
Yes.
We did.
Yep, I mentioned her before mine.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
So they were all in there.
Yep,
Okay.
we got her.
I have an item on the agenda next Tuesday. Do you want me to leave it on about the Inmate Health Services Award?
You
Yeah,
can leave
you
it
had
on,
me
leave
put
it
it
on there,
down.
and if we're ready, we can act upon it.
Okay.
So, and by the way, on an old business item, if anybody has any questions on the proposal, so the sheriff and I have already started asking questions of the proposer.
Okay.
So if anybody has anything else, just let me or the sheriff know, and we can ask. We were talking, Commissioner Waterman and I were talking about one question this morning. And then also, Mr. Chairman, on the CCJAC meeting, since Commissioner Hanton mentioned the open house, we're moving the CCJAC meeting was scheduled for the 19th of March, but there's not really much on the agenda other than to just reappoint the officers for the committee. And so we'll just move that to the date of the open house, since I figure a lot of the committee members might want to go to that, so save a trip. So we'll just do that as an aside during the open house.
Same
6:10.
Okay.
We'll just find a spot to meet.
Okay.
So that's just a quick meeting.
Troy, you had a question.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Yeah, the travel.
Yeah, it was just the travel request.
Oh,
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we covered that.
Charlie? Yeah,
No, I don't,
okay.
everything's good.
So we got the old business covered? Let's go on to new business then. Is there any new business then that we need to discuss?
Yes, I have one more item that, if you recall, last year when Cottington County, we had the birthday. This year, the courthouse turns 90. The date would be June 19th and 20th. I guess it took them 2 days to celebrate that for some reason, in 1929. So, once again, do we want to have some sort of a little open house or some sort of something to celebrate the courthouse turning 90?
It'd be nice to do something, I think. What dates would that be?
June 19th or 20th. Look here and see.
Of what?
June. And those are both, so it's a Wednesday and a Thursday.
Be short notice.
I know, I realize that.
I can work up something.
1930. Or is if we could ask the paper, the press to, have some special, I wouldn't call it a special edition, but a
Recognition.
recognition of somehow in the paper or,
We'll hang up our banner again. We have that. We can wear our T-shirts. If we just designate one of the days, I guess, it's the courthouse's birthday.
I think it'd be good.
what were you going to say, Commissioner
I'd
Gates?
say I think it would be good to mark that
Okay,
date,
yeah.
so.
That'd be good.
I'll work on that unless somebody else wants to be involved with that, I guess. That's,
All right, thank you.
figure out a day.
Any other new business? Anything else?
One thing, Mr. Chairman, I just saw the auditor's email on the speakerphone. We've had some trouble with the
Yeah.
speakerphone, and so she sent out 3
What
options.
was the date on that?
That was March 11th
Okay.
from Bernie's Telephone and Tech.
Okay.
And he gave 3 quotes. One was for just updated versions of this old one. One was a wired version, which is what I would prefer for $450. a new wireless version for $1,600 or a refurbished wireless version for $650. And I personally just like the $450 one because we've had some trouble with wireless, like the wireless mics when we had them in here before. They didn't work they were always problematic. So I don't know, is that can we just do that by consensus since it's on?
Would it be all right if we put this item on the agenda for next week, Cindy?
Well, it's below the a dollar amount that you require for action on equipment. So it's up to you. Yeah, it's just kind of a repair, upkeep, that type of thing. So you don't need a motion because you'll approve the payment when you approve claims.
Well, we
So would it be all right if we just take the $450 bid and do it?
Yeah,
basically,
that's what I
we,
prefer.
don't we almost need to because isn't that cord burnt out or whatever that's
Yeah, we need
underneath
to,
there?
yes,
So-
we can't.
And we can't, he
Can't
looked
find
for the parts for that and it's 20 years old.
Yeah, I would say, I mean,
could not-
it's an
The burn
updated
marks are a bad
replacement.
sign.
Yeah. it's-
450 is inexpensive considering we could have burned the place down with
Yeah.
that thing.
so, Yeah, I'm in favor of, we need to upgrade
Is
it.
it
does come in
just a common consensus? Is it all right to just go ahead and get the $450 one and get it installed and get it working?
Okay, and I'll
Okay.
contact him and tell him that's what you've
All right.
decided.
It is important that we have it so that if some of us are not here, that we can do a call in, to the meeting, so.
Hopefully he'll have an instruction booklet that comes with it, so if we need,
We'll have somebody to read the
right now,
instructions.
we're just going blind on.
But he's
yeah.
local, so we
There
can
never
get a
was
hold
an
of him.
instruction book for
If
this
there
one?
was, I don't know where it's at. Like I said, it's
Like those
20 years
cost-
old.
That doesn't cost extra.
Need to send somebody
So, I mean,
along to
we
read
might
it
even
to
be
us.
able to talk to two people at once on there if we
Right.
figure it out, but
Yeah, have a
we'll see.
conference call to,
All right.
All right, good. I'm glad that you brought that up.
We'll go ahead and I'll contact him and get him
Yeah,
working.
thanks for
on
getting the quotes on that.
Is there any other items for the new business? Anything else? Remember, a week from this Wednesday is the Sioux Valley Conference. I
Sioux Valley District meeting.
hope that the weather is straightened out by that time, and I'll make a comment in reference to, I was really appreciated the fact that the state association did cancel the spring conference for this week. I was telling Cindy I had my phone in hand, I was ready to cancel my rooms out there because I just, I don't know if I'm getting older or smarter. Well, I guess maybe both, but I got caught. I was ventured out. I think it was Saturday afternoon, and I got about 3 miles from home, and I realized, what am I doing? And I did find a place to turn around, and I just couldn't see the road. I just could not see the road, and I just eased my way back home, and every now and then there'd be a track in the road, and I'd follow it, and I just thought, it's not worth it. It's just not worth being out in this weather, or maybe I value my life more or whatever, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm getting smarter or whatever. But I appreciate them doing that, and I'm sure it's just, now there was in conjunction with that a training session for planning.
Fair
New
officers and new officials, and I think they have rescheduled the new officials because that's a little bit kind of a more important, but I don't believe they're going to reschedule the welfare or the commissioners'
No.
spring conference.
No, I was gonna bring that up as well, that
Yeah.
due to the weather, there will not be.
And this was supposed to take place in Pierre, where I believe the weather is supposed to be
Yeah, it's supposed to be
really bad out there, so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one other time, one of our Sioux Valley meetings this time of year was canceled just a couple of years ago. We ended up, I think we were supposed to go to Brookings maybe, and
Have you ever been
So-
snowed in Pierre?
Isn't Jim supposed to?
I have. Supposed to be a lot of things to do in Pierre, but when you're snowed in, it just seems like it's then you feel like you really need to be home because you wonder, what's being flooded, is the water pump running at home and all that other stuff, so that's the way that goes. Anything else? I do not have any requests for an executive session.
We were on open, I thought we were on new business, open,
Oh yeah, let's go to the open.
now it left me, government affairs.
That's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And who's going to go to that?
I'll probably go.
You're going to be there?
I'd like to go.
Also attend, bring them up to speed on the
Well, then I will
transitional house.
not attend if there's two there already. I won't be there. Anything else for the open?
Chair, the Watertown Development Company will be having their board meeting tomorrow. I'll be attending,
Okay,
first time. Thank you.
all right, very good. Anything else for the open? Seeing none, I'll
I'll make a
entertain
motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Hatton to adjourn, and a second by Gable. That was right, Gable?
Yep.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Have a good week.